Hi, it's Tom Campbell from the Cultaholic Classic Raw Review podcast. Everyone's in Vegas. Like everyone in the whole world in Vegas for Double or Nothing. So it's me and you, and this is 205 Live NXT Graded. So let's start with 205 Live. We open with a recap of that incredible Cruiserweight title match between Ariya Daivari and Tony Nese at Money in the Bank. And we find out tonight we're getting a fatal five-way main event, not to determine a number one contender, but to determine who may possibly, potentially be in line for a next shot at Tony Nese's title. Like, you're not becoming the number one contender. You just might have a go. Fine. Mike Kanellis, Oney Lorcan, the Brian Kendrick, Akira Tozawa, and Ariya Daivari in our main event. This is what 205 Live does really, really well. Like, the stories are incredibly simple. They just hoil a lot of guys in the ring and let jazz happen. And that's our main event tonight. I'm excited. Singh brothers come out to start the show. They're meant to be facing Lucha House Party, but Lucha House Party got battered by Lars Sullivan. So they're not there. So Singh brothers say to the ref, count to 10 and award us the match by count out. But then no, that does not happen. Out comes Drake Maverick, everyone's second favourite performer from Birmingham in WWE. And he says, instead of facing Lucha House Party, you're going to be facing Jack Gallagher and Humberto Carrillo. And Humberto Carrillo looks like a star. You get an impression this is where they want to go with 205 Live. He's got a cape on, for goodness sake. He's a proper superhero. So we have an impromptu tag team match. Good, strong match. Humberto, the rookie, gets quite a bit of a beating from the Singh brothers. Jack Gallagher makes a save near the match. Lovely stalling suplex from Jack Gallagher. Enjoyed that. Big finish comes from Humberto Carrillo, who hits the Aztec press, which is like this weird sort of stalling, spinning, corkscrew moonsault thing. Very good. Very good. So good, impressive tag team showing by those two. Going to give this one a C+ though. The match kind of dipped in the middle, and I know that you watch this all the time, but the crowd really takes something out of a lot of these matches. When Carrillo walked out, I know he was meant to be the star. Like, oh look, it's him. He's in this match. Crowd weren't bothered. That really knocks a grade down a little bit for 205 Live. So we get some promos from Mike Kanellis and from Oney Lorcan, building up our main event, and unintentionally hilarious moment by Vic Joseph, who thinks that Oney Lorcan's finished his promo, starts talking, then Oney Lorcan continues. It's a bit like when you're having a conversation with somebody at a party that you've never met before, and you keep interrupting them and going, oh, sorry, carry on. Carry on. I think it says something about the promos where the bit where Vic accidentally jumped in was probably the best part. 22 minutes in to 205 Live and it's main event time. Excellent. You know it's going to be a corker when they've blocked out about half an hour. Fatal five-way match to determine the possible, maybe, future, some point number one contender for Tony Nese's Cruiserweight Championship. Maybe, possibly. Akira Tozawa, the Brian Kendrick, Mike Kanellis, one of the only wrestlers brave enough to come out to a power ballad. It's a beautiful song as well. Hometown boy Oney Lorcan, who got the least quiet reaction, who got something less mild, well done mate, and Ariya Daivari, who actually got a promo at gorilla position, which I don't think I've seen done very often in this day and age. Normally they're next to like a big TV screen with the TV show blazoned on it, like he's actually at gorilla, and saying that Tony Nese thinks I'm in his rearview mirror. I'm not. I'm coming up to him. I'm overtaking him like I'm a wrestling car. Fatal five-way main event. All the tropes of a multi-man match in our main events. Tag teams making friends, tag teams falling apart, Tower of Doom powerbomb thing in there as well. Oney Lorcan, the hometown boy, got quite a lot of very impressive physical offense in. Him and Mike Kanellis do this really good bit for about 10 minutes. Really like that a lot. End of the match, we kind of tie in neatly to what happened at the very beginning, because we had Brian Kendrick and Akira Tozawa at the very start of the show shaking hands and going, hey, we're in the same match together, but let's be friends. Akira Tozawa goes for a cover and Kendrick breaks it up. Kendrick offers the same handshake. This time Akira goes, no, away you go. And then they start fighting. Ends with everybody hitting triangle. Every finisher comes out at that particular point. And it's Akira Tozawa with a roll-up on Daivari, who gets the 3 count and the phantom number 1 contendership. So Akira Tozawa and Tony Nese down the line at some point, possibly maybe, for the Cruiserweight Championship. The last thing we see is Akira Tozawa and the Brian Kendrick leaving together. No doubt building towards some kind of little, some sort of dissension in the ranks thing here. You kind of see Brian Kendrick in the background sort of clapping, forced smile. You know the drill. Given this match a B+, although it was very much your standard multi-man match with all the bits in there. All the bits they did really well. And you know what? They did it in front of a crowd that most of the time didn't seem that bothered, which really made me sad. So B+, lads, well done. So this week 205 Live gets a B. One match show built to a 5-man craziness that was very entertaining. So let's give it a B. I've changed my tie, which means it's time for NXT from a lively Full Sail University, which is a palate cleanser after 205 Live. We get a recap to start off with of the Tag Team Championship shenanigans between the Viking Raiders and the Street Profits. The Tag Championships are now vacated. They are without home. William Regal sorting that at TakeOver 25. We are going to see Street Profits taking on the Forgotten Sons, taking on the Undisputed Era, taking on Oney Lorcan and Danny Burch for the NXT Tag Team Championships, and it's going to be a ladder match, and it's going to be all the fun. Undisputed Era gets started this week. They're out to address the rumour and innuendo of their splitting up. Nah, not happening. They are super friends for life, and they are going to win all the belts in NXT. This brings out one of the people what holds the belt, Johnny Gargano, and the match, I believe, with him and Adam Cole is made there and then, quite rushed, because Johnny Gargano comes out and says, hey, if you want the match, TakeOver, you've got it. Oh, we've booked it. That's fine. Then they do this whole thing on maths where Adam Cole says, I pinned you in New York. And then Johnny Gargano says, yeah, but I pinned you twice. And as we all know, 2 is bigger than 1. And it just felt a bit naff. I don't feel like you can do wrestle maths without Scott Steiner being there either. As this is going on, Matt Riddle runs from the crowd and attacks the Undisputed Era on his own. Love Matt Riddle. Just get amongst it, lad. Johnny Gargano comes out to help him out, and they run off the Undisputed Era to start off this show. I'm going to give this whole section a C. All the players are fine. I thought the maths bit that Gargano and Cole did was just a bit cheesy. It's not their best work. I thought Gargano and Riddle running off all of the Undisputed Era didn't feel quite right, but it was fine. It was fine. It's getting a C. First match of the night, it's Sean Maluta versus Mansoor. Now, obviously, everybody in the world is being called up to the main roster now. So they've got to fill this sort of chasm in the mid-card. So enter Sean Maluta and enter Mansoor, who's brilliant, isn't he? He's a bit like, in terms of size, he's like Baron Corbin, but doesn't look anywhere near as awkward. He does his mean dropkick, and he does a really cool sort of springboard neck breaker type affair. Wins the match, beats Sean Maluta in quick order. Thought it was a great showcase for Mansoor, and I'm excited to see more from him. So I'm going to give this a C as well. Nothing wrong with the match. Wasn't much to it. Just a nice outing from Mansoor, who I'm excited to see more of. Hashtag Tom is a fan of Mansoor. So backstage, the Undisputed Era come out of Regal's office like naughty school kids. We find out that at NXT TakeOver, it's going to be Matt Riddle versus Roderick Strong. That's going to be good. It's a busy card, TakeOver 25, but that's going to be good when it gets to it. And our main event tonight, it's Matt Riddle and Johnny Gargano versus Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. That'll be fun. Out comes Velveteen Dream in our next segment. He's great, isn't he? Just anybody who has absolutely owned this whole idea of make yourself a star. It's Velveteen Dream. He talks about how people want to hold the dream, but he's too big to hold. Stop it. Stop it. As he's talking, sound of flashbulbs, out comes Tyler Breeze to like a monstrous pop. It's like the Rock's just come back. Tyler Breeze gets in the ring, old school Tyler Breeze gear. The only thing he's missing is the fluffy selfie stick, which I think is merch money that is being lost. But even so, he looks great. He is smiling from ear to ear as the crowd at Full Sail just chant, welcome home, welcome home. Breeze is gorgeous, Breeze is gorgeous. He's in his element. And then we get a mic war between Tyler Breeze and Velveteen Dream. Tyler Breeze references cheap knockoffs and wannabes that have polluted NXT since he's been away. Velveteen Dream talks about Tyler Breeze playing cops and robbers and how he can't get it done on a Monday night, a Tuesday night. Oh, scandal. Velveteen Dream says, look, the queue for the title matches is all the way back there, but while you're here, have a selfie with the champ. So Tyler Breeze and Velveteen Dream are having a selfie together, and they've got the camera there, and it's on the big screen back there as well. And Tyler Breeze says, word of advice, if you print your number on the back of your pants and nobody calls you, maybe they don't want you. Bang! Sucker punches the Velveteen Dream and away he goes. Obviously referencing the whole sign me up Vince thing that Velveteen Dream did last year. This was so good. I'm giving this a B+. This was my favourite part of NXT this week. It was a dream match, no pun intended, that I didn't know I wanted. Between sort of the original pretty boy of NXT and the modern day pretty boy of NXT. I think it's going to be great. If the mic work is anything to go by, this is going to be an absolute stormer. Next up, it's Candice LeRae versus Reina González. There is this, as I said earlier, this gap in the mid-card of NXT, which is just desperate to be filled. And what a way to fill it than with Reina González, the female Stan Hansen, complete with chaps, cowbell, and disgusted sneer. She's brilliant. So she just dominates Candice LeRae throughout this match because she's like 6 foot. Candice LeRae gets a few little cheeky bits of offense in, sort of does a schoolboy that sends Reina out of the ring at one point and then hoys her into the steps, sort of taking out the lariat arm. She even does a lariat. She's a female Stan Hansen. She's great. Not her night though, because it belongs to Candice LeRae, who manages to hit a drop kick and a lion salt for the 3. No shame for Reina González. Good showing by her. She still looks solid. Not long after that match ends, the 4 horsewomen hit the ring and they look like they're going to give Candice LeRae a decking, and out comes Io Shirai armed with a Singapore cane. And you'd assume at this point, okay, she's going to run in with the cane and they're all going to leg it. No. Io Shirai absolutely leathers everybody with this Singapore cane. Like, it's been a while since I've seen Singapore cane shots that gruesome. Like, genuinely, everybody gets some. Shayna Baszler gets in the ring, and you think, oh, okay, they're gonna beg off this one, and maybe they're gonna save the physical interaction of the match. No. Io Shirai's bashing her as well, smashing her around with this Singapore cane, breaks the Singapore cane. Really good moment, just showing Io Shirai as somebody that you are not to mess with, going up against the monster that is Shayna Baszler. Giving this whole section a C+. I enjoyed the work of Reina González, enjoyed the work of Candice LeRae, who wasn't lost in amongst all this, and Io Shirai with the Singapore cane, possibly the most dangerous thing I've seen since Reina González and a cowbell. So nearly main event time. Before we do, we get the announcement. It is going to be a thing. Velveteen Dream versus Tyler Breeze for the NXT North American Championship, and it's happening at TakeOver 25. Get in. And next week on NXT, we've got Bianca Belair and Mia Yim, and Kushina's back in action against Drew Gulak, so that'll be fun. So it's main event time. It's Matt Riddle and Johnny Gargano taking on Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish from the Undisputed Era. Very serviceable tag team match that progresses a storyline of the strength in numbers of the Undisputed Era against their 2 main antagonists. Matt Riddle gets a majority of the beating throughout most of this match, and there's a moment during this where Mauro Ranallo makes a really strange call. When Matt Riddle gets kicked in the inner thigh, he says, Matt Riddle getting kicked in the Garden of Good and Evil. And normally, Mauro Ranallo's pretty hot on his pop culture references. So I had to Google this, and the Garden of Good and Evil, it's actually a book. It's based on a book called Midnight in the Garden of Good and Evil by John Berendt, released back in 1994. It's also a movie in 1997 directed by Clint Eastwood about a visiting city reporter's assignment suddenly revolving around the murder trial of a local millionaire whom he befriends. I mean, I assume Ronaldo's been watching Turner Classic Movies. That's the only thing I can think of. So the match completely falls apart near the end. Everybody's fighting everywhere. On cue come Adam Cole and Roderick Strong, who haven't been ringside during this match. And when the refs got their back turned, they get the boots in to Gargano and Riddle. Riddle eats a high-low and gets the pin for the 3. Undisputed Era end the night, just battering Gargano and Matt Riddle, just leaving them laying on the ground. Giving this one a C+ as well. I've been very C+ heavy on Graded. Again, like just a serviceable match that continued to tell a story. But even in these matches where like there's nothing really on the line other than like story progression points, which is a thing. There's still a lot of solid moves and moments throughout the match, so I'm going to give it a C+. Overall this week, I'm going to give NXT as a whole a C+. Good show to build towards NXT TakeOver 25. They established a couple of things in there. Got some nice, not debuts, but some nice real shines on some new talent in there as well. Reina González is one to watch for. Mansoor's one to watch for as well. I'm going to be talking about him for weeks. So lots of good stuff happening on NXT this week. Thanks for watching. I'm Tom Campbell from Cultaholic. I haven't got an end card, so I presume here there's some videos floating. Oh, look, that one looks good. That one might be fun. Patreon, that's some money, would be good too. Thanks, love you, bye.